Sorry about that interruption, but let's keep talking about diction. What word is using better diction? And I'm not sure if you're able to see my bottom part down here, but your options are mad, angry, or furious. Which one is a better word to use to describe how upset I would be? Mad, angry, or furious? Well, if I just say mad, then that's not really super descriptive, is it? If I say angry, it's still not very descriptive of how mad am I. But if I say furious, you know I am so upset. So furious would be better diction. Let's look at another one. Which word is better using diction? Large, massive, or colossal? Which one is better to tell you about the size of something? Is large a good enough word? Well, it would work, but it's not descriptive enough. What about massive? Massive, super big. But if something is colossal, then you know that it's even bigger. So colossal would be the best diction. How about this one? Booming, loud, or deafening? Which one describes better about a loud sound? Booming. Think about how that sounds actually just saying the word booming. Loud. Deafening. Look at that word, deafening. Think about the word deaf when someone cannot hear, their ears don't work. So if a sound is deafening, it's so loud, it's making your ears not be able to hear very well. Now, I want you to type, actually on this video, sorry you can't, but I want you to think of a word that uses better diction than the word looked. So if you have a sentence, I looked at the beautiful bridge. Really? Looked? Looked is going to be good enough? No, you can come up with a better word than looked. What is it? What about talked? I talked to my brother. No, what kind of talked? Were you whispering? Were you yelling? Were you talking in secret? Were you discussing? Were you arguing? What kind of talked? I bet you're saying, Mrs. Maimoni, how can I find these better words to use in my writing? Hey, you're going to use a thesaurus. Say that with me. Thesaurus. And I actually have a link for you right here. So if I click on that link, here is an online thesaurus. Now, a thesaurus is really cool because what a thesaurus does is it actually tells you other options for a word. So let's say that in my paper, I need to say that I ran to the refrigerator. Well, ran isn't very exciting of a word. Ran, run. Let's see here. I'm going to type in run. R-U-N. Enter. Check it out. Those are some great words in those bubbles that I could replace run with. I don't need to say I ran to the refrigerator. I could say I dashed to the refrigerator. I escaped to the refrigerator. I trot or trotted, kind of like a horse does, sprinted, whisked to the refrigerator. So using an online thesaurus is really good. Let's try another word. Let's see here. What other word? What other word could I use? Well, what are some words that students normally use? How about said? S-A-I-D. We use that word a lot. I said, he said, she said, then I said. Sometimes it's going to do things like this. Other words for said, spoken, aforementioned, aforesaid, forenamed. Well, if you don't get a whole lot, then let's type another word that you know of said. Well, maybe it's spoke. Ooh, look at that. Spoke and said are very similar, right? I spoke to my mother. I talked to my mother. Oh, look, I could rap to my mother. I could gab to my mother. I could articulate. I could whisper. I could convey. I could express. I could shout. I could utter. I could mutter, murmur, mumble, yak, yakety yak. So there's a lot of options in a thesaurus. Very important to use while you're doing your writing. Okay? So let's practice using an online thesaurus. You are going to use the online thesaurus. You're going to make this sentence on the next slide better. All right? I ran to my mom and said to her, I can't believe they yelled at me. So So you're going to go to that online thesaurus, and you're going to choose a word from the sentence. Let's see. We did ran. How about yelled? Let's type in yelled. Oops. Yelled. Ooh. Look at all those words that I could use. So you're going to use one of these words to update that sentence. Let's do another one. He kicked the ball at the goal and jumped because he was so happy. Well, we're kind of happy because when I get happy, it probably looks different than when you get happy. Let's do happy. Happy. Well, look at all that. He jumped because he was so blissful. He was so joyous. He was so glad. He was so cheerful. He was so overjoyed. Right? So, you need to think about this with some of your own sentences. Take a look at the sentences you have written for an assignment, any assignment. How can you make improvements in your diction choices, in the words that you're using in your work? This is not 5th grade anymore. This is 6th grade. You need to start making little improvements everywhere. Okay? That's what we're looking for. That's diction. Thanks, guys.